Good evening, YouTubers. This is Edward, and it's always beautiful in the evening. It's all nice and cool in the Philippines. I'm in northern Mindanao. That's where everyone says don't come because it's too dangerous. So that's the first place I went. Anyway, I live here with my beautiful Filipino wife. We were married within 2 weeks of meeting each other. We've been married for over 8 years now. We've got one child. He's going to be 3 years old next month. And I'm going to talk today or this evening about a subject, health. It's on most everyone's mind, especially the older you get. Health is always more on your mind and you're more concerned with it. A lot of people say, oh, I'm if anything happens to me, at least I have insurance. I'm covered, blah, blah, blah. You know what? But no, all my life, I'll say this. My entire life I've been healthy. I've probably been sick one day in bed less times than there's fingers on this hand my entire life. I was born disabled though. I was born with what's called club feet. So I had a bunch of surgeries when I was an infant to age like around 2 or 3 years old. It's corrective surgery. So I have stainless steel staples in my ankles to straighten out my feet, but that's the only thing really I've had my entire life. Like I say, I've had the flu, and I got food poisoning a couple times, and less than half a dozen times in my life. I eat almost everything. I love food. I have no allergies. I have no other issues. I have a little bit of hay fever sometimes, but that was when I lived in northern Minnesota, and in the grasses and the pollen there. I had hay fever, but most of my life, once I moved to other states, I was fine as far as that. But that's it. And I could eat anything. I love food. I ate anything I ever wanted. The most I ever weighed in my life was 260 pounds. When I worked in the oil field, and it's in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, way up north. I mean, you got to put on some extra pounds just to stay warm, and it's always like minus 20 below or minus 40 below, right in that area. So, but the issue was I had no health issues. And always when I heard people diet this, diet that, and I'm like, I'm healthy, I'm fine. I'm a little overweight, but I'm good. And I always had insurance my whole life. In my naive days where, everyone in the world says, oh shit, you got to have insurance. You got to have insurance. If you don't have insurance, what if something happened to you? Oh my God, you could die. You could blah, 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 blah. I mean, people go crazy with worrying what if they don't have insurance? I mean, think about that. It's just crazy stupidity, really. You don't need insurance. The whole industry is designed to fleece you and destroy you with constant fees and over costs of all medical. I mean, it's nuts, completely crazy. People are been brainwashed into this whole thing. But anyways, I digress. That's not the subject here that I want to talk about. I'm talking about my health. Only at age 60, I just turned age 60. And a lot of you guys out there want to, move overseas, and you're all worried about insurance and medical and your health and all that. Here in the Philippines, cash is king. And you keep your wealth in gold, and then you change your gold into cash when you need it for any big thing that happens to you medically or otherwise. That's how it works here. There's no credit, there's no insurance. There is, but it's for the super poor. It's state-funded, PhilHealth and stuff like that, right? Anyway, getting to the subject here. Just as 60 years old came around for me, actually a couple years before, I've been having feet problems because I have such low circulation from all the surgeries in my feet when I was a young man, right? So I got health issues now. And only I've come to realize, I mean, to the point where right now I said, I'm done. I'm going to change completely what I've been doing my entire life, because I had no reason to change before, right? But now that I have health issues with my feet, I mean, it's hard for me to even walk around a lot, right? Because I have open wounds on one foot and low circulation from those surgeries. And and one day my toes on both my feet just exploded. And I'm like, this happened like maybe a month after I had COVID a couple years ago, right? So, or 3 years ago now. But anyways, so I thought it was attributed to that, because there was a deal in the news and articles about COVID toe. So I thought that's what it was, but it would never heal. One toe did heal, the other one's still open wound, and it's getting better now. But I've only been on this only diet I've ever done in my entire life, through research and experience and testimonies from other people, everything, my whole life. 20 years ago, I knew that sugar was bad for you, drinking was bad for you, all the processed foods was bad for you. But I never really knew all the facts, because I still really didn't care, because my health was still good, right? Well, come to find out now that it's really concerning me, because I got issues, right? And that's what happens to people. Until they really start to have lots of issues, they really won't do anything to change their lifestyle. So what I found out is, as far as processed foods go, processed plant foods is like 90% of what's out there. And that is what causes major inflammation of the body, and causes all kinds of ailments and allergies, and you name it. If there's something wrong with you, 90% of the time it's from plant-based processed foods. I mean, just think about it. All the things that go into when you're producing any kinds of plants, fruits, vegetables, whatever, insecticides, pesticides, you name it, every kind of chemical in the world's going on these plant-based foods to get them to market. And these mass markets, and then they get into trouble because they get E. coli and salmonella and all this other shit, right? And if you go over to the animal-based processed foods are no problem whatsoever. And I've been hearing my whole life, meat processed foods are so bad for you. But you know what I just started? This is everything about this video. This is what it's about. The Carnivore Diet, or the Lion Diet, whatever you want to call it. It's all over the internet, and it's growing like crazy because it's changing people's lives. I mean, I've seen testimonies and stuff. It's just nuts how awesome this is. And all you do is eat meat, fish, eggs, and some fatty dairy and salt. And you have to make sure your electrolytes stay up high, because your whole diet's based on protein and fat. And we've been brainwashed our whole entire lives just to repel from any kind of fat. We're picking the skin off our chicken. We're trimming all the fatty tissue off of all our steaks and all our meats, right? We're just crazy about it. But you know what? From everything in my research for these last few months, before I made the decision, I've been 3 days into the carnivore diet now, just 3 days. I already start to feel better. I have no cravings, anything. I mean, there's no portions. You have only that meat and eggs and fish, and there's some cheese and dairy products that you can have too, but if you keep it simple as possible, meat and eggs and salt. and fish, you're good to go. And I don't have any cravings, nothing. And I'm only 3 days into it, and I'm already starting to get a real boost of energy just from that. And I'm praying that, you know, all my foot issues are going to be resolved. And some of these guys are 300 to 600 pounds in weight, and within 6 months to a year, they're down more than half of what they were before. It's just amazing, some of these stories. So if you got problems, I mean, I can't really speak from experience yet, but we're going to see. And it makes sense to me, because all the powers to be in the world, what are they doing? They're trying to stop animals. They're trying to stop humans from eating and producing animals. Why? Because they know the truth. If they eliminate animals, the whole human population will collapse, because they'll really get sick then. And they're already so sick right now from being brainwashed into thinking that they got to eat all these plant-based processed foods and all this sugar. I mean, it's just crazy what the insulin resistance is, what causes all this stuff, and it causes diabetes and all this stuff. It's just nuts what's going on out there. And the only thing that makes sense is do the opposite of what they say. My dad thinks the powers that be that are screwing up the world so bad are aliens. I agree, but I call the aliens demons. And there's no doubt in my mind this stuff's going on the earth right now. So and there's a ton of Christians going to this carnivore diet also for their entire family, because the results are there. They've people taken half a dozen to a dozen different types of medications and prescriptions, and you know what? They threw them all in the garbage after they went on a carnivore diet. So, and all their ailments gone. So I'm just telling you the truth about what my research says and what all these testimonies are. And it's time for me to get on the bandwagon, because I have health issues now, and I really, really know that, you know, my kidneys are going to fail, my liver is going to become fatty and cirrhosis just from all this sugar. Sugar destroys the liver faster than alcohol destroys your liver. And if you don't have a liver, you're going to die. My second wife died of cancer, and the biggest reason was she ate a pound of sugar a day, at least. And I shit you not about that. And that's what killed her. Made her liver so huge and fatty that it couldn't function anymore. And she died and then it caused cancer, and then she died within 2 months of being diagnosed. And this is what's going on out there, people. Wake up, open your eyes. Do the opposite of what these mainstream everything is telling you. Mainstream media, mainstream medicine, mainstream everything. Because what they're telling you it's lies, big time. They want to exterminate you like the Nazis did to the Jews. That's what's going on out there. So do your own research. And this is all my opinion, right? This is my opinion, my own research, my own thoughts, everything. So I'm not telling anyone what to do. You have your own brain that God gave you. Use it. So I'm on day 3 now, the carnivore diet, and I'll be giving you updates throughout the days in the future here, and we're going to see how it goes. So I just want to bring that huge truth and revelation that I've had to you guys, and hopefully you'll benefit from it. And God bless you all. Bye-bye.